Welcome back to our channel, World of Coins. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them because it could make you a millionaire overnight. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just surprise you with its potential value. It's a coin that's been circulating in the United States for decades, but only a few hold a secret that could make them worth a fortune. Today, we're talking about the United States $quarter from 1982, and you won't believe how much this coin could fetch. Stick around until the end to find out just how much it's worth. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a simple quarter from 1982 so special? After all, quarters are a common coin used in daily transactions, so how can one from the early 80s be worth more than just its face value? Well, that's where the story of this particular coin gets interesting. The United States $quarter has gone through many changes over the years. Its designs have evolved with the country's history, from the Liberty Head to the Washington quarter and beyond. But in 1982, something happened that would make certain quarters from this year stand out in the world of collectors. During this time, the U.S. Mint was continuing to churn out these coins in massive quantities. Millions of quarters were produced in 1982, but not all of them are equal in terms of their rarity and value. The key factor here is mint errors. A small, yet significant number of these quarters left the mint with imperfections, mistakes that would go unnoticed by most people but were spotted by sharp-eyed collectors. And these mistakes, these mint errors, are what make the 1982 quarter stand out and hold so much potential for value. One of the most sought-after versions of the 1982 quarter is the D mintmark error. Quarters made in the Denver Mint that year were supposed to have a clear and crisp D mintmark indicating where they were made. However, some of these quarters were produced with a blurry or double-struck D, making them extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. This mistake means the coin is not only a piece of history but also an example of a rare and unique error, a feature that can significantly increase its worth, but that's not the only version of the 1982 quarter that can be valuable. Some 1982 quarters were struck on incorrect planchets. What does this mean? Well, the planchet is the metal disc that the coin's design is stamped onto. A few of the 1982 quarters were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for other denominations, such as dimes or half dollars. These misstruck coins are extremely rare and highly collectible because they show an unusual variation that would never appear on a regular quarter. Collectors also look for high-grade specimens of the 1982 quarter. Coins that have been well preserved, free from scratches, wear, or any kind of damage, can be worth far more than the typical quarter. The higher the grade, especially if it's in uncirculated condition, the more valuable the coin becomes. A pristine 1982 quarter could be a treasure waiting to be discovered. Now, you might be wondering, just how much are these error coins and high-grade 1982 quarters worth? Well, some of the rare mint errors, like the double-struck D mintmark or those struck on incorrect planchets, can fetch incredible prices at auction. But even a well-preserved 1982 quarter with no errors can be worth much more than face value if it's in excellent condition. So, how much can these coins actually be worth? If you find one of these rare 1982 quarters in mint condition, or if it has one of these errors, the value can skyrocket. And I mean skyrocket. We're talking about a potential value of $45,000 for a single coin. Yes, that's right, $45,000 for a quarter from 1982. Imagine walking around with a quarter in your pocket, not knowing that it could be worth so much. If you happen to come across one of these rare and valuable quarters, it might be time to take a closer look and possibly send it off for professional grading. With the right mint error or a high-grade example, your quarter could be worth a lot more than you ever expected. This is why it's important to always check your change and keep an eye out for those small imperfections or differences that could make a coin much more valuable. Even if you're just starting out as a collector, discovering something like this can be a thrilling experience and a great way to begin your journey into the world of rare coins. Top 2, we have a special treat for you as we take a closer look at a coin that may be sitting in your change jar right now. It's the United States $quarter from 1974, a coin that's not just a piece of history, but could also be worth far more than its face value. This seemingly ordinary quarter holds a fascinating story, and it could very well be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Stick around until the end to find out just how much this coin could be worth. When you think of the 1970s, a lot of things might come to mind: the music, the fashion, and even the political and social changes that defined the era. But what about the coins that were circulating at the time? The 1974 quarter was part of the regular issue of coins the U.S. Mint produced during that year, but it has become much more interesting for collectors in recent decades. At first glance, the 1974 quarter might not seem extraordinary. After all, millions of these coins were minted and circulated across the country. So why has this particular quarter become so sought after? The answer lies in a rare and unique phenomenon that's made certain 1974 quarters extremely valuable. The 1974 quarter is primarily sought after because of a very specific minting error that occurred during its production. Some of these quarters were struck on incorrect planchets, metal discs that were intended for other denominations of coins. When a quarter was struck on a planchet meant for a dime, the result was a smaller, thinner quarter with a unique shape and weight. These coins are called wrong planchet errors, and they are extremely rare and highly coveted by coin collectors. Why does this happen, and why is it so special? In the minting process, coins are produced by pressing metal discs, or planchets, into a die that has the coin's design. Occasionally, a mistake can occur, and a planchet from another coin's production line ends up in the wrong place. This causes a coin to be struck with the wrong size, shape, and weight. While errors like this happen every now and then, they're often very subtle and hard to spot. But for collectors who know what they're looking for, these errors can make a coin much more valuable than its standard counterpart. These 1974 quarter wrong planchet errors, especially those struck on dime planchets, are incredibly rare and sought after by numismatists. Imagine holding a quarter in your hand that's slightly smaller, lighter, and thinner than the usual quarter you're used to seeing. That's the beauty of these error coins. They're unique, they're rare, and they represent a mistake made during production that's never likely to happen again. But the value doesn't stop with mint errors. Even standard 1974 quarters, if in excellent condition and with no significant wear, can fetch a decent price. Coins that have been well preserved, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are considered to be in high-grade condition. If you manage to find a 1974 quarter in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, it could still be worth more than just 25 cents. High-grade coins are always in demand because collectors value them for their quality and rarity, and the 1974 quarter is no exception. So, now that we know why these 1974 quarters are so valuable, the big question remains: just how much could one of these coins actually be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to have a 1974 quarter with a minting error, such as the wrong planchet error or other unique features, you could be looking at a price that will make your jaw drop. The value of a 1974 quarter with a rare minting error could easily rise into the thousands of dollars. However, the most sought-after 1974 quarters, in pristine, uncirculated condition, or with rare mint errors, can sell for a staggering amount. Are you ready for the price reveal? If you own a 1974 quarter that is in top condition or features a rare mint error, you could be sitting on a coin worth as much as $67,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $67,000 for a single 1974 quarter. Now, before you rush off to check your coin collection, remember that not all 1974 quarters are worth this much. The key is finding one with a significant minting error, like the wrong planchet error, or a coin in impeccable condition with no signs of wear or damage. But the good news is, these coins do exist, and if you happen to come across one, you could be holding a real treasure. This goes to show that the world of coin collecting can be full of surprises. A simple coin from 1974 could turn out to be worth far more than you ever imagined. So, take a moment to dig through your coin collection or change jar. You might just have a hidden gem on your hands. Top 3, we're diving into the world of US currency, but not just any ordinary coin. Today we're talking about a true treasure, the United States $quarter from 1979. This particular coin might seem like just another regular quarter from the late 70s, but let me tell you, it's far more interesting than you might think. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, the story behind the 1979 quarter is one you'll want to hear. So, stay tuned to find out how much this coin could actually be worth today. Let's set the scene. The year is 1979, and the US Mint is busy producing millions of quarters for daily circulation. At the time, America was going through various social and political changes, but one thing was clear: coins were still an essential part of daily life. The 1979 quarter, which was part of the Washington series, was no different from many others that year. It had a simple design, featuring George Washington on the obverse side, and an eagle on the reverse, just like the many quarters that had come before it. But the story behind the 1979 quarter is far more captivating when you consider its unique features. At first glance, you might think that all 1979 quarters are created equal, but there's something that sets some of these coins apart: mint errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin's production, creating a coin that is different from the original design intended by the US Mint. And let me tell you, some of these errors are what make the 1979 quarter one of the most intriguing coins for collectors. These errors can range from minor imperfections to full-blown misprints, but the value of these coins can skyrocket depending on how rare the error is. One of the most common errors seen in 1979 quarters is the double die error. A double die occurs when a coin is struck multiple times, causing part of the design to appear doubled, often creating a ghost-like effect on the coin's features. For the 1979 quarter, this can result in an interesting visual effect on George Washington's portrait or the letters on the coin. Coins with this kind of error are highly prized, as they are unique and can't be reproduced by the mint. Collectors hunt for these rare errors, and if you find one, you may just have a very valuable coin on your hands. Another sought-after version of the 1979 quarter is the Type 1 reverse. In the late 70s, the US Mint was in the process of updating the designs for some of its coins. The 1979 quarter saw two different types of reverse designs being struck, with the Type 1 reverse showing an eagle with its wings outstretched and a relatively flat top of the eagle's head. The Type 2 reverse, on the other hand, shows the eagle with a more rounded, full head. These variations can be subtle to the untrained eye, but for collectors, the Type 1 reverse is considered more rare and valuable. And, of course, let's not forget about coins in pristine condition. High-quality, uncirculated 1979 quarters are also highly sought after by collectors. These coins are essentially in perfect condition, no wear, no scratches, and sharp, clean details. A coin in this kind of condition is rare, especially after decades of use in daily transactions. If you manage to find a 1979 quarter that's been carefully stored and preserved, it could have a significant increase in value. But what exactly makes the 1979 quarter such a coveted find? As with many rare coins, the value lies not just in the rarity of the error or the pristine condition, but also in how desirable the coin is to collectors. Some collectors are specifically interested in Washington quarters from certain years, and the 1979 coin is one of the key years that attract attention due to its unique characteristics and errors. So, what can you expect in terms of value? If you're fortunate enough to find a 1979 quarter with a major mint error, such as the double die or a rare Type 1 reverse, the value can be incredibly high. While a standard 1979 quarter may only be worth a few cents above face value, a quarter with a significant minting error or one that is in perfect condition can sell for much more. Are you ready for the reveal? A rare and pristine 1979 quarter with the right type of error or a unique variation could be worth as much as $61,000. That's right, $61,000 for a single coin. If you find a 1979 quarter in excellent condition, or even one with a major mint error, it could be your ticket to an unexpected fortune. This goes to show just how valuable rare coins can be. What seems like a simple, everyday quarter can turn out to be a hidden treasure worth far more than its face value. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and if you've got an eye for detail and a little bit of luck, you could find yourself holding a coin that's worth a small fortune. Top 4, we're going to talk about a coin that you might have passed over many times without realizing it could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the United States quarter dollar from 1989. At first glance, this may seem like just another regular coin, but trust me, there's more to this quarter than meets the eye. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting to dive into the fascinating world of numismatics, today's discovery is bound to catch your attention. So stay with us to the end to find out exactly how much this quarter could be worth. Let's take a moment to travel back in time to 1989. It was a year full of cultural and political shifts. While most people were busy dealing with the latest trends and events of the day, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing millions of quarters for circulation. These quarters featured the familiar design of George Washington, but something unique about the 1989 quarter stands out to collectors today. Now, you might be thinking, how could a quarter from 1989 possibly be worth more than a few bucks? And that's a fair question. After all, the 1989 quarter wasn't necessarily any different from the ones that came before or after it. However, the value of a coin isn't always about the design or the year it was minted. It's often about the rarity and condition of the coin, and the 1989 quarter has some surprising secrets hidden within. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1989 quarter is the presence of mint errors. Mint errors are the result of mistakes during the production process, and they can make a coin far more valuable than a typical, perfectly minted one. Some of the 1989 quarters left the mint with certain flaws, mistakes that were not intended but are highly prized by collectors. If you're lucky enough to have a 1989 quarter with a minting error, it could drastically increase the coin's worth. For example, one common error on these quarters is the off-center strike. An off-center strike occurs when a coin is struck by the minting die but isn't properly aligned, resulting in a design that's slightly, or even significantly, off-center. This error creates a coin that's instantly recognizable and incredibly rare. Because off-center coins are unusual, they catch the eyes of serious collectors, and their value can rise significantly. Another mistake that can happen during the minting process is a double strike error. In a double strike, the coin is struck more than once by the dies, causing the design to appear twice on the same coin. Depending on the alignment of the strikes, the second image might appear blurry or offset, adding to the uniqueness and desirability of the coin. Double-struck coins, especially those from years like 1989, are highly sought after and can be worth much more than you might expect, and that's not all. Another feature that can make the 1989 quarter valuable is high-grade condition. As you probably know, coins that are well preserved and free from damage can command a higher price in the marketplace. A coin that's been carefully stored and has little to no signs of wear or tarnish is considered to be in uncirculated condition, which means it looks almost as good as the day it was minted. If you happen to find a 1989 quarter in perfect, uncirculated condition, it could be worth far more than just face value, but it doesn't end there. If you're really lucky, there are even rarer variations that make the 1989 quarter particularly valuable. Some collectors are specifically looking for certain die varieties, coins that have slight differences in their designs due to changes in the dies used to mint them. These changes might be small, but to collectors, they can be significant enough to cause the coin to be highly desirable and sought after. Die varieties can add even more rarity to an already interesting coin, making it even more valuable. So, now that you're wondering how much this seemingly regular 1989 quarter could really be worth, let's talk numbers. If you happen to find a 1989 quarter with one of these rare mint errors, or if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be in for a major surprise. These coins can be worth thousands of dollars, but it doesn't stop there. Hold on tight, because this rare 1989 quarter, depending on its condition and the presence of any mint errors or die varieties, could potentially be worth $56,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $56,000 for a single quarter from 1989. That's a pretty incredible return on what you might have thought was just another regular coin. Imagine holding on to a coin that could one day be worth that much. This just goes to show how important it is to check your change and take a closer look at the coins in your collection. You never know when you might stumble upon a hidden gem that could be worth a small fortune. So, if you have any 1989 quarters lying around, be sure to check for mint errors, signs of wear, or even those rare die varieties that could make them worth far more than face value. We hope this video has sparked your curiosity about the 1989 quarter and the world of rare and valuable coins. Top 5, we're going to take a deep dive into a particular coin that may have passed through your hands countless times without you realizing its potential value. Yes, we're talking about the United States quarter dollar from 1995. It may seem like just another everyday coin, but wait until you hear about the incredible worth it could hold. Stick around to find out exactly how much this 1995 quarter might actually be worth today. Let's take a trip back to 1995. A year full of significant events, from the launch of Windows 95 to the beginning of the iconic TV show Friends. But while all of that was going on, something interesting was happening with the US Mint as well. The 1995 quarter, part of the Washington series, was minted alongside millions of other coins. At first glance, these quarters might seem completely unremarkable, just another coin with the familiar image of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. However, as collectors know, it's often the seemingly ordinary coins that hold the greatest value. So, why is the 1995 quarter so special, and what sets it apart from the thousands of other quarters from the same time period? The answer lies in the rarity and condition of the coin. While the US Mint produced millions of these quarters for circulation, not all of them survived the years in pristine condition. Over time, many of these coins were used in daily transactions, becoming worn, scratched, and damaged. But among these millions, a select few quarters remain in excellent, uncirculated condition, and this is where the value really starts to rise. One of the key factors that increase the worth of a 1995 quarter is its condition. As with any collectible item, coins that are in top condition tend to fetch the highest prices. The 1995 quarter, if it has been carefully preserved and remains free from wear and damage, is considered highly valuable in the numismatic world. Coins that have been well maintained and kept in mint condition can attract serious collectors, and when you add rarity into the mix, the price can skyrocket. But it doesn't end with just high-quality coins. There's another reason the 1995 quarter is so desirable: minting errors. Mint errors are fascinating for collectors because they add a unique element to an otherwise standard coin. They occur during the production process when something goes wrong with the minting dies or the planchets. While most of the 1995 quarters were made perfectly, a select few contain errors that make them stand out from the rest. One of the most significant errors you'll find in the 1995 quarters is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the minting dies, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. On the 1995 quarter, this could mean that the date, letters, or even parts of George Washington's image appear blurred or doubled. A double die error is always a collector's dream because it makes the coin stand out as a one-of-a-kind item. Another type of mint error that could increase the value of your 1995 quarter is the off-center strike. This error occurs when the planchet, the metal disc the coin is made from, isn't properly aligned with the die, causing the coin to be struck slightly off-center. An off-center strike can create a dramatic visual effect, making the design appear misaligned or even partially cut off. These types of errors make for highly collectible coins and can push their value up significantly. Let's talk about a less common, but incredibly valuable error: the clipped planchet. A clipped planchet happens when the metal used for the coin isn't properly cut before it is struck by the die, resulting in a coin that is missing a portion of its metal. This type of error creates a coin with a unique shape and is highly sought after by collectors who love rare and unusual pieces. If you find a 1995 quarter with a clipped planchet error, you may just have a real treasure on your hands. Now, let's get to the exciting part: the value of a 1995 quarter. While most regular 1995 quarters are worth just 25 cents, if you happen to find one with a significant mint error, or even one that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, the value could be much higher. You might be wondering just how high we're talking. Well, if you have a 1995 quarter in excellent condition, or perhaps one with a rare mint error, you could be looking at a price tag that will leave you speechless. Hold on to your hats because this is where things get interesting. If you have a 1995 quarter with one of these mint errors, or if it's been preserved in perfect, uncirculated condition, it could be worth as much as $38,000. Yes, you heard that right, $38,000 for a single 1995 quarter. That's a pretty amazing discovery for a coin that was once considered just pocket change. This proves just how valuable certain coins can become over time. While the 1995 quarter might seem like just another coin you've seen 1,000 times, it could be hiding incredible value. Whether it's a minting error or simply a coin that has been well taken care of, the potential for profit is there for the taking. Top 6. We're about to take a deep dive into a coin that you might have seen before, but did you know it could be worth a small fortune? That's right, today's subject is the United States quarter dollar from 1965. At first glance, it might seem like a run-of-the-mill coin, but trust me, this 1965 quarter has some remarkable stories to tell, and it just might be worth more than you can imagine. Stick around to the end to find out just how much this quarter could be worth today. Let's set the stage and travel back to 1965. It was a year of significant change in the United States, a pivotal moment in history. The country was in the midst of major political and social movements, and the U.S. Mint was hard at work making changes of its own. 1965 was the year that the U.S. government made a big decision regarding the composition of coins. Prior to this year, quarters were made of 90% silver. However, with rising silver prices and the growing costs of minting coins, the U.S. Mint switched to a new composition made up of copper and nickel for all quarters, starting in 1965. This change is what makes the 1965 quarter such a fascinating and important part of American coin history. Now, you might be asking, how does a simple shift in metal composition affect the value of the 1965 quarter? Well, it turns out that this change, along with some unique circumstances surrounding the minting of these coins, has made the 1965 quarter a coveted piece for collectors. While millions of these coins were produced, not all of them have survived in excellent condition. And as any coin enthusiast will tell you, a coin's value can skyrocket if it is in top condition or if it has something special about it that makes it stand out from the rest. One of the biggest reasons the 1965 quarter is valuable is because of the unique minting process. As we mentioned, 1965 was the year that the U.S. Mint transitioned to using a different metal composition for their quarters. This meant that the 1965 quarter became the first in U.S. history to be made without silver. The new copper-nickel blend gave the coin a different look and feel compared to its silver predecessors, and it was an important step in U.S. coinage history. For collectors, this historical significance adds a layer of appeal to the coin, and it makes it more desirable for anyone interested in collecting coins from pivotal moments in time. However, there's more to the story than just the composition. What really makes the 1965 quarter stand out are the mint errors that occurred during the production process. While most 1965 quarters are standard issue, there were some rare and intriguing mistakes made during the minting of these coins. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die variety. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the minting die, causing the design to appear slightly doubled. The double die error can make parts of the coin's design, like the date or lettering, appear blurry or out of alignment. This error is highly prized by collectors, as it makes the coin unique and much more valuable than the average 1965 quarter. Another error that has been discovered on some 1965 quarters is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a coin with a design that is shifted or misaligned. Off-center strikes create coins with an unusual, distinctive look that collectors absolutely love. Because off-center strikes are relatively rare, they can command higher prices in the numismatic market, especially if the error is noticeable. In addition to these mint errors, condition is another key factor that plays a huge role in determining the value of a 1965 quarter. Like any collectible, the better the condition, the higher the value. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1965 quarter can fetch a pretty penny. These coins are typically free from wear and tear, showing minimal signs of circulation. A coin that has been kept in excellent condition for decades is a real gem to collectors, as these types of coins are not easy to find. So, if you happen to have a 1965 quarter in pristine condition, you could be holding on to something special. Now that you know a little more about what makes the 1965 quarter such a unique and valuable coin, you're probably wondering, what's it really worth? While the standard 1965 quarters are still worth their face value of 25 cents, the rare mint errors and high-quality examples can push the price to incredible heights. So, how much could you expect to get for a 1965 quarter if it has one of these unique characteristics or is in near-perfect condition? Hold on to your hats, because this is where things get exciting. A 1965 quarter, depending on its condition and the presence of any mint errors, could be worth as much as $81,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $81,000 for a single 1965 quarter. That's an astonishing amount of money for a coin that many people overlook in their spare change. Imagine finding one of these quarters in your collection or even stumbling upon it in a jar of old coins. What a discovery that would be. So, if you have any 1965 quarters lying around in your collection or tucked away in your change jar, now's the time to take a closer look. You might just have a rare and valuable treasure on your hands. Whether it's a mint error, a coin in pristine condition, or just a unique die variety, the 1965 quarter holds more value than you might think. Top 7 and last coin, we're bringing you a truly exciting discovery, the United States $quarter from 1986. Now, you might be thinking, 1986. That was just a few decades ago, how valuable could that quarter be? Well, hold on to your hats because this seemingly ordinary quarter may be hiding an incredible worth. You won't believe how much it could fetch today, and by the end of this video, you'll see why collectors are so eager to get their hands on it. Let's rewind to 1986. It was a year that witnessed significant events in history. From the launch of the iconic Space Shuttle Challenger to the release of the first ever Top Gun movie, 1986 was quite the year. And while the world was busy with all of these major events, the United States Mint was also busy at work. The 1986 quarter was part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. This design features the timeless portrait of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. However, the 1986 quarter is special for a number of reasons that you might not be aware of. Let's first take a moment to talk about the context of this coin. 1986 was a year that marked the end of an era for the Washington quarter design. While these quarters were being minted for general circulation, it also served as a reminder that the U.S. Mint was preparing to introduce new designs in future years. In fact, the 1986 quarter is part of a period where the design of U.S. coinage was beginning to be re-evaluated, with new ideas being put into place. So, it's not just a regular coin from the 80s, it's a piece of numismatic history, representing a transition in the Mint's coin design strategy. While millions of these quarters were produced and distributed into circulation, there's something about the 1986 quarter that makes it stand out. As with any coin, its condition plays a huge role in determining its value. Most of the quarters you see on the streets or in your spare change jar are going to be worn down from years of use. However, some of the 1986 quarters that have been carefully stored or preserved in near-perfect condition are becoming more and more valuable to collectors. If you've got one of these well-preserved coins, you could be looking at something pretty extraordinary, but it doesn't stop there. There's also the possibility of minting errors that can make this quarter even more valuable. When coins are minted, they don't always come out perfectly. Sometimes, errors occur during the production process, and these mistakes create coins that are unique. Some of the most coveted errors are those that happen with the die, like double die errors or off-center strikes. These kinds of errors happen when the coin is struck incorrectly, leading to distorted or doubled images on the coin. A double die error, for example, could cause George Washington's profile or the date to appear doubled or out of alignment. Another potential error is the clipped planchet. This occurs when the metal used to make the coin is improperly cut before being struck, which results in a coin that has a portion of its edge missing. These coins are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors, which can significantly increase the value of your 1986 quarter. If you find one of these error coins, you've got a truly unique and rare piece in your collection. Now, let's talk about what makes this 1986 quarter so special in the market today. While it might seem like a regular coin at first glance, with its intricate design and historical background, the 1986 quarter has become a prized item for those in the numismatic community. The true value of this coin is often tied to its rarity, specifically, how few of these coins are still in circulation in pristine, uncirculated condition. If your 1986 quarter is one of the few that survived without the usual wear and tear, you could have a small treasure in your possession. Coins that remain in excellent condition, especially those that have been preserved in a coin holder or safe, are especially valuable because they are in high demand. These pieces are not only important for their beauty and history, but their scarcity and excellent condition makes them stand out in the coin market. So, let's get to the exciting part. Just how much could you get for your 1986 quarter? Well, if you have a well-preserved, uncirculated 1986 quarter, or if it features one of those rare minting errors, the value could be higher than you expect. The 1986 quarter could be worth as much as $64,000. That's right, $64,000 for a single coin. It's hard to believe that a coin you might have seen in your pocket change could be worth so much, but it's true. The combination of its historical significance, rarity, and the possibility of mint errors has made the 1986 quarter a highly desirable item for serious collectors. So, if you happen to have any 1986 quarters in your collection or tucked away in a jar of coins, now might be the time to take a closer look. You could be holding on to something far more valuable than you ever realized. Whether it's a well-preserved coin or one with a unique error, this quarter holds far more value than just its face value of 25 cents. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay updated with all of our exciting discoveries. You never know what hidden gems might be hiding in your own collection.